All right, it is 10:17 in the morning on Wednesday, April the 14th. As I begin this, getting ready to head over to the flip house right now. And today's flooring day. Never done flooring before in my life. A little nervous about this, pretty excited about this. I've got all the tools that I think I need to be able to do this. I've got floor patch, I've got extra under laminate in case I need to build up any sections. I know we're gonna run across uneven areas in the floor. I know we're gonna have to cut underneath trim in certain areas to get flooring underneath there. I know we gotta use a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. This is a floating floor that can expand and contract. I got a pretty good idea of the layout that I want to do. I've got a pretty good idea of where I need to get done first. We're not planning to get all of the flooring done, just the living room and the kitchen. That way we can get the kitchen out of the back bedroom, and we've got some wall repairs that need to get done in there. It's my hope that this only takes 2 days at the very most. Today's Wednesday, so from today till tomorrow, I'm hoping to be done with the floor. Maybe by Friday, we can get the kitchen started to be installed. If we can get this kitchen installed and this flooring can go somewhat according to plan, I will be so happy in feeling like we're gonna be able to wrap this house up by the end of April. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get over to the house and I'll share with you guys how this flooring adventure is gonna go. Alrighty, hey, what's going on? So, as you can see, we are starting the floors over here. And we've already gone through a box and a half just to do that much right there, which is very troubling to me considering we only have 20 boxes left. Now you're probably wondering, Joe, what the hell are you doing? You have no idea what you're doing. You are correct about that. However, here's what we are doing. I got my 1/4 inch gap and my spacers right there, and I did the math. It's 135.5 inches with the 1/4 inch gap on either side from wall to wall. These are 7.5 inch pieces. So when I did the math, it came out to 60.66, which I think it was really 60% of a piece, even though that looks a little bit more than 60% right there. I needed to lay out one whole run to see where I was gonna die on this wall. Because if it was too thin, well, we would have had to cut off of that side. So, the main issue right this second is, do we have enough flooring? Now, we're gonna have enough, or we won't. And if we don't, well, then the bedrooms are gonna get something totally different, maybe carpet, whatever. But I did the math when I bought this, and I bought extra. I bought extra of this. We got the square footage of this place, and I know that I bought extra, but we're gonna see. So we're gonna get ready to, pull this up. We're gonna start our first run. We're gonna notch out around what we need to notch out for, and that's it. We've already got one scrap piece that was in our box. Looks like somebody had already used this. So, table saw set up, most reliable #1. He's here with me ready to do this. Oh yeah, also to note, our semi-gloss paint, no cracks at all. So that is really good to note. Show you guys that real quick. Had a lot of cracking in this area here, but there's none. A lot of cracking up in the top. Well, camera doesn't want to focus, but there's no cracking at all. I've checked this very thoroughly, so we're good to go. All right, let's get ready to see how this flooring is about to go. All right, intermission real quick. I know we're not very far, but just want to share with you guys where we are. So, bang, here's what we got going on. All right, we're up underneath that door jamb right there, that door casing, and we've only ran 2 pieces, or 2 lines, right? But it's important to note that the troubleshooting on this has been pretty extensive. And that started right back here with this gap that you can see back there that's, well, obviously more than it's about an inch gap. So what we're gonna do is, we've also got a piece of quarter round. So this is what we're doing. We take our piece of quarter round, we test so we can see that we're good. And then back here, it's good that that falls behind the door. We're gonna have to put a little sliver of flooring in there. But we're doing pretty good. So we'll run our line, and then when we get to the end, we get our measurement, we make our cut, and the leftover starts the next line. Shout out to Most Reliable #1 for knowing that, because me, I wasn't gonna do it like that. So here's our second line, bing. So here's our leftover from our cut from line number 2, and we will put this money in here just like so. So we've been banging these pieces in. We've been keeping the floor around us as clean as we can. And we got this little scrap piece right here in case we need to make cuts under any jams. So basically what we'll do is we get up to our jam wherever we need to make a cut. We put that right on top of there like that. Bzzz, and that gives us the distance that we need. We're gonna have to do that over here and probably throughout the house. But the point right this second is to try to run as much of this today as we can. And to be honest with you, we're really starting to get a little groove going with this. So, lock it in. It's kind of a pain in the ass to lock these in. But once you do get it locked in, let me get a spacer. 1/4 inch spacers, got to have these. That spacer is important because these floors will contract and contract, expand and contract is what they'll do. All right, I don't really want to go all the way up to that. So can I do like 2 spacers? How does this work? You do like 2. I'm sure you can do more of these. Maybe that works. Nice and tight. That's perfect. You're good to go. That didn't move none down there. And you can see our wall is steadily getting pushed on. But that's okay. Starting to get this floor in here. I think this floor is gonna look real good once we got it. And just have to see. All right, that. Nice and tight. I think making it too tight could be a thing also. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, make sure we're not beating this shit up. Because I'm seeing like it could put some stress on the joints. So let's just try to keep an eye on that. All right, that's enough show and tell. We'll get back on it and share with you guys once we get farther. All right, update time. It is, what time? What time? Gosh almighty, it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 2:40. And here's what we've gotten done. Bing. So we got a decent little run in the living room. We're probably almost halfway done with the living room. The flooring is looking really good. And we've actually ran all the way to the back of the house. No transition strip right here. We decided to go against that. And one thing to tell you guys is we haven't ran into too many issues. As a matter of fact, we just ran into our first big issue, and that is this old red shit on the ground, maybe some old linoleum, whatever the case is. It's about 1/8 of an inch right here, and we have been working to get this stuff up. Now, luckily, it's only in this little section right here. So once we get this up, we can continue on our merry way. I know that we're gonna have an issue back there in that corner, but other than that, yo, for two guys who don't really know a whole hell of a lot about flooring, all you gotta do is watch a YouTube video. I'm kidding. We're lucky that it's coming together as well as it is for us. We've used quite a bit of flooring, but we've gotten far. And I was asking Most Reliable, I said, you figure this is probably a one-man gig. Now, when I think back to the first flip house, one man, it took him 10 days to do the flooring over there. We've gotten probably, I'd say at least a good 20 to 30% done on this first day. And we didn't even start this first thing this morning. We started this at like 10 o'clock. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. We've been working on this for 5 hours, and we're about 20 or 30% done. So not too bad. Let me get back and help Most Reliable tackle this shit, because this shit, oh, this shit ain't no fun right here. Get this up out of the way, and then we'll be able to continue on. Great morning to you guys. What's going on? It's Thursday morning as I begin this up at the storage facility. Had to grab the big guns. Need the nail gun to secure some flooring, some subfloor by the back door. And we didn't get all that far yesterday, but I think that we got pretty far considering the fact never done flooring before, and we did run into a little issue where we had to really scrape some old linoleum that had been like tarred down or something by that back door section. I was showing you guys that in the last clip. We got all of that squared away, and we are ready to run flooring again today, again being Thursday, and my hope is that by today we are done with the kitchen and the living room. If that's the case, we're gonna be able to go ahead and start putting that kitchen together. Little worried about how that's gonna go. A lot of plumbing, a lot of electrical that needs to be squared away. Not electrical, but like putting the cord, the whip on both the dishwasher and the range. Yeah, that kitchen's probably gonna be pretty extensive, but we're almost to that point. So it's like almost 8 o'clock as I begin this, getting ready to head over to the flip house, meet Most Reliable #1 over there. And hopefully by 12 o'clock, in 4 hours, we can have the kitchen and the living room flooring done. And I got to get back and get on some videos. We also have a couple of other things that we need to do. There's a couple of lights that need to get rehung. And there's 2 spots in the walls that need just a little bit of mudding, but nothing too extensive at all. It's not in terms of cracks or anything like that. It was just 2 spots that definitely need a second coat of mud. These are gonna be hidden spots. One's gonna be behind the kitchen cabinets. The other one is, well, the other one's on a piece of trim, right above a piece of trim. So let's get this day underway. Again, great morning to you guys, and I will be so excited and proud to get this flooring work done, and then to be able to move on to the kitchen, and also to be able to show you guys all of this work that I'm doing with the help of Most Reliable #1, who I gotta also mention, he knows about as much about this shit as I do, give or take a little more or a little less on certain things. So really proud of the work that him and I are putting in together. Let's go get this flooring knocked out. All right, just getting over to the house. Super dark and gloomy this morning. Hopefully it's gonna clear up a little bit. We gotta get some light going up in here. Gotta get that light put back up. That was a ceiling fan. Gotta get this light put back up. That was a fancy little light. Uncover that light. Give us some light up in here. We're gonna do that first and foremost. As I come in here, you know, I look to see what we're up against, and it's this. So take a look at that. You know, you can gauge a lot of, I don't know. I like to believe that you can gauge the quality of work by how supposed contractors will leave your stuff. So the 2 screws that would hold the ceiling fan in, those are so caked up with plaster and drywall mud. The wires are caked up. I wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't expect anything less from that shit show that contractor was. What a POS and just horrendous quality of work from a licensed and insured Class A contractor. But neither here nor there, we're not gonna dwell on that. Hey, moving forward, just more lessons learned. I've got a video idea in mind for when all of this is said and done, and that is the lessons that I learned from Flip House number 2. I'm really looking forward to sharing that. But to show you guys flooring, here's what we got. Here's what we got done yesterday. It may not seem like a whole hell of a lot, but it really is a whole hell of a lot. And cleaning up this area back here was a hell of a lot of work, a hell of a lot of mess. And now that we've got that where we need that to be at, we can continue running our flooring. I know I haven't mentioned this, so let me go ahead and mention this. You're probably thinking, why isn't there any under laminate being laid down? We've got under laminate on the back side of our flooring. You see, it's got the pad. I've actually realized that it's about the same cost if you get it with the padding versus without. And in my personal opinion, from a guy who has no idea anything about flooring for real, it just seems easier to deal with versus having to go lay down all of the padding and all of that. We're keeping the floor as clean as possible, not trying to walk on the floor. That's why these boxes are here, and making sure that whatever type of work that we need to do, we are getting it done as much as we possibly can prior to the flooring going in. There's a water cutoff line right there. You can't see it because it's behind the wall. I need to cut that out. So I'm gonna get that cut out prior to this piece of flooring, this section of flooring going in right here. We've also got some more repair work that's got to get done right here. This is that drywall work that I was talking about, that mud work. That's a piece of trim over top of a piece of trim that was recessed in the wall. I just need to re-mud that. I'm gonna do that first thing this morning. Enough said, let's go ahead and get into this. Most reliable will be over here in a moment. And it's my hope that by the time I share with you guys the next scene, we've got this thing rocking and rolling.
So if I put some cardboard in the corner, you already put that?
Put what?
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, it's not noon like I was hoping that we could be done by, but it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're done-ish. Isk. We're done-isk. So here's what we got. Bing. Check out that money. We got all the floors in for the kitchen. So now we can install the kitchen. We don't have that area back there done yet, but that's not important right this second. And we've also got all of the living room. All of the living room. So we're good to go. We are Gucci. Took us a little longer than we expected, but that's because we ran into a major snag right back there. All of that stuff that we ripped up the other day, well, we got back in that area and the floor was just a little effed up. So we had to continuously be pulling out the floor and trying to level it out and pulling out the floor and trying to level it out. And everything that we did just didn't work. What we ended up running into, what we ended up realizing was there was a piece of wood right here, a piece of OSB, a piece of flooring that was cocked up like this because of another piece of wood underneath that was, pushing it up as well. So we cut that out, we replaced that, and boom, we're good. We got no issues at all. We got no little humps in our floor at all. You can't feel any type of nothing. It's a very quiet floor, and man, it looks good. Refrigerator's gonna be right there. Stove's gonna be right there. We were able to use some little scrap pieces without the female or male ends. So that's what we used back here in this area. And we did have a little more waste than we really wanted to have, but like I said, we were able to use that back in that area. So in terms of how much floor we got left, bang, it definitely does not look like enough. We got 3, 6, 8, 10, 11 boxes plus a couple of little pieces. I mean, we are to right here, and all we got left in here is just that little run right there and then right there. We may be a box light, and the chances they'll still have this at the liquidation store that I got this from are pretty slim to none. So we're just gonna have to see how it all shakes out. Not gonna lie, this was a little bit of work right here, but it wasn't that bad. It was enjoyable. Aside from the issues that we had. And yeah, we knocked this out. We knocked this out in 2 days. It took us to get this far. But for two guys who don't know how to do flooring, I mean, we got all of this done. And not only did we get this done, we got that light fixture put back up. It's a little jacked up, I know. Well, you can't really tell that it's jacked up, but it is. Needs a little caulk right there. And this one we can't figure out, but we'll figure it out. So we did that. I patched up some things that I needed to get patched up, and then we jumped right into the flooring. So we got exactly where I wanted to get in terms of completion with this flooring job, so that now we can focus on that exciting thing, getting ready to install that boss ass kitchen. Oh yeah, it's coming, probably tomorrow. Hey, how hard could it be to install a kitchen? We're gonna learn tomorrow.